With their backs against the rope, it is Team Liquid that is on the verge of potential elimination. If they can't win the next game, they are out bottom here at the Corsair Dream League Season 12. And that's crazy to think because they're coming in as one of the favorites.
I think so. I think they came in as the favorite almost. Yeah, and now, you know, you're one game from elimination. FlyToMoon here looking crispy as some fried chicken. It's good.
Will they ban
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
All right, in the draft we go. Still no Void ban, by the way.
Damn.
That is a surprise. First pick goes to FlyToMoon again.
And that's a switch. Marana was not in the first 3 last time, was she?
Marana was ignored previously.
It was ignored, right?
Which is, not very common.
And where was Coddle? Coddle was still in the first.
Coddle was still first phase.
Yeah, still first 3, yeah.
Coddle has 100% win rate played, by the way, so far.
Yep, they banned Void.
And they banned the Void.
I don't think there's like, I'm trying to think of any other ban that like you're willing to ban and then give up Void, and there wasn't one.
Yeah.
You know what it might be? You remember last year who made the bet versus Owen about the Void?
Blitz.
And now he's coaching that team. Maybe he was like, maybe we shouldn't ban the Void. Maybe it's just not a good, no, I'm kidding.
Wait,
the heroes changed a lot and it's gotten way better.
Did Owen win that bet? I honestly forgot.
did.
And it was to get 5,000 MMR? Or what was it?
It was $1,000, and Owen will pay it to charity.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
If he got 5K MMR.
When it was Owen's selected charity.
What a nice guy.
Yeah.
I would have taken that money and I would have just thrown it at Blitz's face.
It was supposed to.
Wow.
It was supposed to be more, and then they reduced it because it was But it was still
because Blitz
nice.
is broke. Just kidding. And there's Abba.
On the Crystal Maiden too. Been seeing a lot of her lately.
That's the Rubik first pick. Like Slayer's drafting, and he's like, I owned last game on Rubik. I'm gonna pick this again. I had a good time.
Everyone's like Abba. He's like, it slipped.
The Undying
They're doing
again.
the Undying again. I know the Undying people like a lot versus the Abaddon.
And this is like one of the few like support duos you don't feel bad picking early because you have someone who can rotate in the Rubik, and you have someone you know he's a save and he's just gonna sit there and lane with your core.
Yeah, I mean they just won with this last time, so.
I like
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
run it back.
usually I hate opening with 2 supports, but like this duo, it does it all, really.
Yeah.
Rubik is actually the hero with the highest win rate with more than 5 games played.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I like Rubik. Rubik and both Crystal Maiden, I know like they've gotten like these small little buffs that you can actually feel if you play them a lot, these attack speed buffs, their attack rates. It's actually that small little increase, you feel it inside of the laning phase. It makes them a lot stronger.
And we actually saw the coach, we talked about Blitz, but on FlyToMoon, they have like one of the, I would say he's been around longer than Arzeek, right? Shadow or whatever. I mean, he used to play for Navi, and he's coached for like 4 years now. And I know I was like, I think that's him, but I mean, he has, like Blitz coached Liquid obviously when they won and stuff, but he has been around for a long time in the CIS scene.
Yeah, good call.
And so far it's working out. Definitely in that previous game. Must be very proud of the team as well.
It's so weird with coaches, right? Because different coaches do different things. As we heard like Blitz talking about, like he's more of almost a mental coach. Meanwhile, you do have someone like Arzeek who was on VP, he's pretty in there. And then you have someone like, say, Sunby on Secret who doesn't really do that much. Like, you can just be so different.
And then you got the ROTK that's like, move over.
Yeah, and he does it all. Yeah, it's crazy how different coaches
You are my pawns.
And then you have your own section where it's Bulba, because we don't really know.
Yeah, who the hell? Everyone will blame him, but who knows what
no one knows what he's really doing, but you know what, it's his fault anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
If they win, it's Arteezy.
Yeah, if they win, it's Arteezy.
And if they lose,
it's Bulba every time, I mean.
That in itself actually is a very important function of a coach. It means that the players never get blamed, meaning you don't have the pressure.
It honestly is helpful for a team. Not for Bulba's ego, but yeah.
Yeah, Bulba's the scapegoat. He's the big boy for that team. But.
And Tusk, I mean, I think it's probably one of Taiga's best heroes, and it's also a save. So now we have the double save. You have Abba as well as a Tusk, which I believe it was them who played the Tusk when he had that really good game in the top lane, and he just kept saving, or was that? No, that was NIP, pardon me.
That was NIP.
That was NIP, and he made Tusk look like a god in that game.
That's Viper's best hero.
Yeah, it is.
Viper's best heroes are like the Rubik and the Tusk.
Yeah.
For Taiga, I mean, the Tusk is definitely up there, but the Tusk for me right now is a little weird. It's not like something that's like glaring that he wants to really like dodge out. Like you see an Elder Titan stomping or something, like Sanking Burrow Strike Epicenter. Like Tusk doesn't have anything to really just dodge right now. But he has things to get in with his face with, so maybe they're thinking a hero that goes with that.
Yeah, I've got a question. So what's going on with Earth Spirit? Why is it not seeing much play? It seems like a decent hero. Like, why is it not good?
It's a good question. Right?
To teams, I guess.
Great question. I think for certain teams, I think if you have a super specialist, you can still definitely play it, but I don't know. I feel like you're limited actually because your stones. The replenish is so
you're
long.
Right.
Like even early game, I'm 6 guys, you go take a fight. All right, I'm out of stones. You know, we may have won the fight, but now it's like, what am I supposed to do? That's how I felt at least when I would see the hero. Like, where they're running around like 1 or 2 stones in the mid game, and it's like
you can't do anything without stones on that hero. Yeah, that makes sense.
They picked Legion Commander into Tusk. Tusk is a little bit of a save, right, for the Legion Commander target?
A lot of it save, I'd say, yeah.
If you're not caring so much about the actual duel, so if you're playing it as more of a sustain hero with like that pipe and all that, you really care. It's nice for the lockdown if you have it, but I mean, that's not necessarily the role of Legion Commander nowadays.
No, it's true.
Yeah. I mean, FlyToMoon is literally drafting the same so far.
Yeah,
that they had last
the void.
Yep.
Dude, if Liquid picks a melee hero, I could definitely see a tide again or something.
Dire team pick.
Well, that's the complete opposite of a melee hero. Visage.
Where does he fit in?
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Bless you.
It's a very good question. I mean, we've seen this hero. It's a lot like their last draft where Liquid, you can tell they want to do like this 20 to 25 minute base push, but it didn't work out too much last time. It does work very well with Tusk, actually. Tag team plus Visage. You don't even need the Visage, just the birds. It's really good.
Yeah.
But like going with the rest of the lineup, like Tusk, Crystal Maiden aren't the fastest paced support, but Abba and Visage are very fast paced cores. So I'm curious.
Yeah, definitely quite interesting to see this one picked up here. But yeah, it is like the timing that they're looking for sure. Versus Undying too, like Visage is really damn good versus Undying, that's nice. Also pretty good versus Rubik.
Previous game, Liquid did try to have a fast timing. Is that something that, I mean, it didn't work out. Why would they try the same thing again?
I mean, I think there wasn't very much time to practice between the qualifiers and now, and it's so hard to just like switch up strategies in between. I think if you have your strategies, because like most teams going into these games, they're not looking at 100 heroes. I think most teams usually have 20 to 30 heroes that they're going to cycle through, and it's really hard to just get off like of that.
One thing I think we've always talked about for like Old Alliance / Liquid is closing games. That's like one of the things they've had a really hard thing doing. I think when they pick up this Visage, I think maybe that's what they're trying to work on, right? I see this and I'm like, maybe they're just really trying to, let's close this game out. That's our biggest issue right now. This will help us actually just do it, so.
Makes sense.
And now you are versus that PL. I think was it you or Lacoste who said you think this hero is going to make a comeback?
I think this hero's going to make a comeback. I've seen it in a couple games where it's like limited lockdown, stuff like that. I've seen it in, more people playing it in pubs and everything too, like small buffs. He has what, 20% evasion at level 10? I think it's been buffed up so many times now.
And like, they really don't have that much burst. I mean, you have a little lockdown from the Crystal Main, you know, like netting him in place, but if you don't burst his PL, which I don't think they can, if he gets 3-4 items, already I don't see how they win.
Yeah, they can't kill the illusions. If he gets a heart, if he gets Manta Heart, they do not have damage to kill this guy. No way.
Like, so who do you have to go for then? That's the question.
Do they still want to go for something like that, Ember Spirit? Do they want to just address the PL, or do they want to commit to a full push now?
I almost feel like you want like a backup plan, right? I feel like that's a little bit safer, because if you're all in
on a game you could get eliminated in. Yeah, it is scary, but then like
you want a backup plan.
You want a backup plan, but what if like you're like, we have to push, and now all of a sudden you're like, well, maybe we can go late game, then you have like half of a draft and half of another draft.
True.
It's tough.
It's you know, there's something to say for both ways of dealing with it.
Dire team pick.
They ban out the troll and pick up the Ember themselves.
Oh, I like that. They do kind of steal it,
that's a steal pick for sure.
And it's movement, right? So now you have 4 heroes who love fighting while the PL can farm. That's a really nice pick.
And this one's more skirmishy too. Like we talked about that in game number 1. In fact, it was actually Liquid that had more of the skirmishy lineup. But this suits FlyToMoon. If they can play that aggressively and keep it up, it's not going to leave much breathing room for the side of Liquid.
And it's nice because PL is a lot like Naga now, where you get Diffusal, you get Manta. Maybe you do want the Butterfly or the Heart, but you can fight. Especially you have Legion, you have Rubik who could steal Abbas, and you have a Sora from Undying. This PL honestly has a lot of like, what is it called? Effective HP, as they say, just coming from his team. EHP.
EHP. Yeah, no, I mean, if he gets to that point, right? I think that's the biggest thing is Liquid, they don't want the PL to get to that point. They want to close the game. With what we see right now.
Could do it with them. The Shrek.
Okay.
That's another big
real fast paced. they pretty much, I don't want to say they're all in at 25-minute mark, but that's like their best. That's their very strongest point.
This looks pretty all in. However, Lesh is another hero that can address PL, right?
Yeah.
In later stages, you actually can clear those illusions as well if you do get pretty scaled, if you are farmed enough. But I do think, like you said, they want to close this game quickly.
But are they going to?
This is a tough one.
This is really
This is
tough,
probably
yeah.
the toughest one because
There's a lot of factors, right?
I think honestly, I'm going to go with FlyToMoon again. I actually do like their draft quite a bit more. I don't know if we're supposed to say predictions yet, but
Yeah, go for it.
I'm willing to. And yeah, I think it's FlyToMoon. I think this PL at event, like even 25-minute mark, he'll have his items. They have the save. It'll be one failed push like we saw in that clip, and the game just turns around.
The high ground defense is there.
Yes.
Yes. How about you, Moxie?
I won't lie, I really like the FlyToMoon draft, but also if Liquid can just, get that momentum going, keep it up, they look very, very good here. So, I'm going to go with Liquid. I don't want to be a full sweep here, because I have a feeling this guy's looking at FlyToMoon.
He's just thinking.
He's really
He's
thinking.
deep in
I'm
thought.
very torn. I don't know. I like Liquid's draft a bit better. It's just like, can they close the game? Like
Yes.
that's the thing I've been seeing them have the most trouble for. So I guess just based off of the draft, I'd like Liquid a little bit more. But FlyToMoon, they did it. I do think they out-executed last game. I'll still go with Liquid though.
Okay. I'll join my co-host to
Give you a
FlyToMoon.
thumbs up. Yeah.
Even after he tried to take over, hijack the host role there, going right into the
That's okay. That's okay. That's what the co-host is supposed to do.
We're a team.
We're a team.
We're
Yeah.
a unit. Yeah.
No undermining here.
Yeah.
If I miss a beat, you'll catch.
Yep, exactly. She
There
doesn't
you
know
go.
I'm coming for her job. She can't hear me, right?
Oh, I know you're coming for my job, but I also want to be a good co-host to you later on.
Perfect.
Very good. All right, it is time to see what is going to happen in this second game. High ground defense is the most important thing, according to my panel. What do you guys think over there?
I know, what do we reckon? Listen, looking at this second game, Liquid, they're going to be shaken up a little bit after that game one. They're finding some sort of similarities from both teams, with some of the heroes, at least from what we saw in the first game.
They definitely didn't look super confident in the Liquid booth, while they were drafting. And I believe both of these teams have picked their strengths. You have this Leshrac on one side with the Abaddon. I believe they can deal with the PL issue, but Visage cannot. And if he falls behind a little bit, their whole plan, this plan to push fast, to just finish the game quickly, is going to falter.
Visage, where is this hero as a hero at the moment? Is this hero a very good hero? Is this a hero that has more weaknesses than strengths?
Is it a hero?
I feel like I don't see a lot of it. What can we expect from him?
There's a reason why you don't see a lot of it. It's just bad at the moment. But when you're in a pro scene, when you have a team behind you, when you have this strategy built up around that hero, it can definitely work. You have the Visage, you have the Leshrac, you have the Abaddon. You can definitely push, but it's on FlyToMoon to just delay you a little bit, get a few items on that PL and Ember, and then the game should be very simple for them. Also, Legion Commander, this game, Pipe Crimson would be perfect. Like, they need these items.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm looking at sort of the cores, right? You have the Legion, as you said, you get Pipe Crimson, also having the ability to dispel your teammates, keep people safe.
Yeah.
Ember and PL, two heroes that are going to be jumping around with the Sleight of Fist, with the Doppelganger. I feel like those are sort of heroes that the Visage is going to have trouble alone at least locking down on. There's always going to need to be someone else to go in with Quake for him to get those pickoffs or kills onto cores. It won't be easy.
Most certainly, even when they always want to fly. He's a bit dead.
Yeah, Sully should beat the five of them. Finding him in the jungle. They'll start the game off with the first blood for Quakefa. It's going to give him that bit of a boost to start the lane.
It's a good start, definitely, for Quakefa, but at the same time, he started with Soul Assumption, which means he has no Grave Chill on that mid lane to work with, which makes his first few waves a little bit more difficult. And this hero isn't really the best when it comes to last hitting overall. However, they do love to run this Visage on a side lane, and if you have multiple heroes hitting someone, your charges are going to fill up very easily, and it looks like they will do that.
Okay.
Flash will be mid, and then you have this Visage on the side lane. But that comes with a cost as well. You have a hero that desperately needs that level 6, and he will definitely not get it if he's on the side lane. Not as fast as on that mid lane, for sure.
And then you have so the Lesh going mid against the Ember. How does that sort of work out? Doesn't the Ember have a better time there, or?
Not. I mean, he doesn't have a better time. Like he would crush Visage. He wouldn't crush Visage, but he would do fairly well. Versus Mickey's Lash, he might struggle a bit more. You can still dodge out with Sleight of Fist, you can dodge out. You can play it, you can pump the stun with Lash, you can dodge it with Sleight of Fist. It's a little bit...
I mean, does it not get to the point where, with the points in Flame Guard, like, okay, with Matchkin going for the Edict, he's not going to be able to have the magical to take it off.
So he has no magical damage.
You get run down.
Later on, yeah. You're right.
And we'll see how Iceberg can play it. But yeah, as you say, being a part of the tri-lane, so to make this work, well, actually, that's quite fair. And he's going to head down to the bottom lane. So they're switching it up. What are they trying to dodge here in particular?
You're trying to dodge the Legion Commander. You can't lane with Visage versus her. Once you get that Grave Chill, she just clears it, and it's insignificant. It's pretty bad. At the same time, Kellen, he didn't level anything, so he should be fine if they use Ice Shards here. Yeah, he's gone. At the same time, I need to say that PL does very well versus Visage as well, but they need a tri-lane. They can't leave the Undying on that top lane, I believe. You need this 3-on-3 scenario so that your PL can win the lane versus Visage. That can happen. You can out-CS him, your melee, it shouldn't be that difficult to do. However, perhaps they're thinking, guys, to make this Liquid's lineup work, they need to have a strong Abaddon. Like, Abaddon is the gel. He's going to gel it all together. He's the one that needs to be having those utility items like Laz, like Solar Crest, which will allow them to group up and push. So because of that, perhaps Always Wanna Fly is sticking around still.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, though, Bo3 not looking very strong at all with the amount of strength that Always Wanna Fly is taken away from them. We'll be able to just force him entirely away from that top lane, giving Flo a lot of space as the Legion.
He has a lot of space at the same time.
Bo3's got the creeps.
Yeah, he's got the creeps. He will fail the pull though. He pulled them to the next creep wave, which is all right, but it's under the tower. Usually you want it between the tier 1 and the tier 2, so that you can deny your creep wave as well as farm the enemies. Then again, he is getting a lot considering that he's all alone versus Legion and Abaddon and Dying.
Bo3 will turn and start to hit back, but won't really be able to threaten the Undying too much on his own at the moment. That's the courier there, getting sniped by Slayer as he goes for the wraparound behind the tower. So no courier available for Mike.
Yeah, that was really well played by him. Insania rotated top, Always Wanna Fly. He doesn't really have a lot of mana to work with. Perhaps a Mango. Yep, there we go.
There we go. Gets that extra little bit of strength stolen from Insania. Make sure he's got the HP to withstand the harass from Bo3. Kellen will be the new focus, does Doppelganger Array, but with the three of them here, they can chase him. Underneath the tower, he's silenced. They're going in for this one. Always Wanna Fly's gonna help out the lift. Will it take him? It will, Kellen. He still dies though. Tiger will be able to snipe him with the Ice Shard.
I think this is good for FlyToMoon, however, because they rotated 3 heroes there to help out the Abaddon, take down PL, and then Abaddon goes to the bottom lane. However, it's the PL that got the kill first. He refreshes all his HP and his mana, and now he can choose where to go, and he chooses bottom lane.
Okay.
So overall, strategically, I think this is a better play for FlyToMoon.
I mean, yeah, we're seeing it on sort of at least the farm and the cores. You have 2 cores on FlyToMoon getting free farm at the moment.
Bo3, if he dies here, he's basically sent back to base and he has no TP to work with, so has to be very careful. On the mid lane, we see a smoke from Always Wanna Fly, just a ward. There isn't really a whole lot an Undying can do when it comes to the ganking department.
Oh, Bo3.
Yeah, he's gone.
He managed to deny himself, but as you say, still a painful hit for him, not being able to quickly to return to a lane of his choosing.
Flo still sticking around Kellen, probably, there we go. He rotates back top. Quickwise level 3. Not too bad. They are playing well around him when it comes to just letting him stay in the lane and soak up all the experience on his own.
Yeah, but as you say, well, still just a lot slower than if they were able to get away with it mid.
Yeah, it's one of the difficulties of Visage side lane. You want to be online as soon as possible. It's a very similar hero to something like a Meepo. You need to hit your timings. If you don't hit your timings, it just becomes a whole different game. Like you're playing from behind, you're in a comeback scenario all the time, and I'm not certain if they truly have the late game potential in this match. PL is insanely strong at the moment. I'm surprised he isn't played more, but versus him, there's Lash, there's Abaddon, there's Visage. You can itemize versus this PL2. Someone gets Crimson Guard, someone gets Radiance, Lash deals a lot of damage, Shivas perhaps, and those illusions are going to be useless.
An attempt there to chase down Insania, but now Tiger and Quaifa will be able to turn on to Flo. Flo gets nuked down there as FlyToMoon getting a little too hungry for action. The 2 of them, in fact, are going to pay with their lives for that attempt on the tri-lane of Liquid. Towards mid, Mickey will be collapsed upon, so FlyToMoon quick to make sure they do find something in return across the map, knowing that Liquid have the numbers up top. They'll abuse the fact that Mickey is alone mid.
Yeah, you show yourself top as a tri-lane, instantly they pounce on the mid lane Leshrac, but overall, you can't fight that Visage right now. Level 2 Soul Assumption, level 1 Grave Chill, it's such a difficult hero to fight on a tri-lane, because his Soul Assumption charges, they just respawn instantly. He just gets them. And this hero, like long time ago, used to be the best position 4 or 5 just because of that. When tri-lanes were popular, 2 heroes were always picked, Undying and the Visage, because they just bring so much to these lanes.
Flow, he's hiding in the trees. He does have the Ember coming up to help out. There's Iceberg, he's level 6. He's ready to try and make some plays happen. Insania is going to be the focus first. 1 Remnant, that'll do it. TP attempt from Quoifer will be successful, no way to cancel it.
They got the easier kill. Perhaps they could have went for the Visage and hope that they will break that port when it happens, but yeah, it's a difficult task and it would waste a lot of their time, which means that Mickey would be able to just push in the mid lane. So definitely just better to stop the aggression by killing Crystal Maiden and then rotate back. Flow. This time around they don't have the damage. Has that Bracer completed, Magic Wand as well.
5 for 3 at the moment, and less than a 1k between the teams. Bottom. Boxy turning towards Kellen, doing quite a bit there, damage with the Aphotic Shield Burst, but
you can see how aggressively they're playing, even though they're very close to the Dire Tier 1, and that's because they know Iceberg does not have a TP to work with. He went top, TP'd mid. It should be coming off cooldown just about now, so they can't be as aggressive any longer. But Kellen, he's not struggling too hard. 29 CS. His counterpart Visage 25, but it's not as important. The SPL needs as much gold as possible, while the Visage, the main necessity are the levels. Like you need to get to that level 6 very fast.
And the only core really struggling a little bit at the moment is Boxy's Abaddon. It's not quite got a crazy amount of CS. Does have a bit of space rolling into him on the bottom.
Yeah.
But does need to do a little bit of catching up.
Yeah, it's one of those offlaners that do a lot with little as well. Like he doesn't have to have too much on the lane. It's great when you have a strong Abaddon, like the one that can just burst you down, run after you with his passive. It's awesome. However, at the same time, just having that Aphotic Shield and the Mist Coil is also pretty good. So just the levels, level 6, and he's fine.
Oh, here we go, Iceberg. He's ready to kick things off, comes in with the Sleight of Fist, focus will be there onto Quoifer. Quoifer trying his best to escape, good shards from Tiger. Will block him off momentarily though, as Iceberg still has another Remnant to play with to jump across and chase down Quoifer with the Flame Guard.
Yeah, one of the reasons Visage is pretty tanky is obviously his passive, but that passive just simply dies to Ember Spirit and his Flame Guard. It's just too many ticks, you instantly burn through them.
Oh, Mickey pushing out on his own there. Just have to be careful. There's just going to be a lift available in a second. TP's in from Liquid will put FlyToMoon off from trying to dive for more.
Yeah, Flow hunting the birds, isn't really able to kill off those familiars. Goes back. Overall, it's on Liquid to start pressuring FlyToMoon. They need to do it as soon as possible. That tier 1 on the top lane perhaps is the easiest one to go for. The mid tier 1 has fallen to Mickey already, and he has rotated bottom. So
it's all under the ward though, so they see exactly where he's heading. They'll jump in upon him, an extra TP coming in as well. Mickey is trying to run. He will not manage to escape. The Sleight of Fist from Iceberg finishes him off. Boxy's in trouble now as well. Still just level 5, no ult available. Do they want to keep chasing? It's pretty deep. They'll let him go. Can't quite get on top of him, so he will live.
They lose the Lash, which is pretty bad for Liquid. At the same time, Koikwa gets enough space to take down the tier 1 on the top lane. And Visage, basically, if you're playing this hero, you want to go one tower, next one. You just want to go from one objective to another. And the longer they delay that tier 1 kill, the longer they prevent Visage from rotating from one lane to another. So even though they lose Lash on the bottom lane, it's not really horrible for Liquid, as they're opening up the map for Koikwa.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Lash going
attack.
for that Yules, it seems. Slayer with the bracer. One of the reasons why while Visage isn't as strong as before are the bracers. Like every single support is tanky enough to live through that initial burst. Like one Grave Chill is not enough anymore to just take a target down. Also, when you look at the FlyToMoon's lineup, Rubik's pretty decent versus Visage too. With the Fade Bolt, it completely diminishes the damage of the birds as long as he keeps that in mind and continues Fade Bolting Visage once he starts pushing.
See smoke from Liquid in an attempt to catch out Flow down bottom, but Flow is playing it careful behind the tower.
2 bracers.
Dire's bottom tower.
Yeah, you can either have skill or you can buy bracers. That's the way it works.
Certainly seems to be the way to play at the moment. They are going to try and push on off the back of that smoke. Liquid, they'll move towards the high ground, but FlyToMoon, they are prepared for this. Remnants out, Iceberg's looking to chase. Kellen and Flo turn their attention towards Mickey. Iceberg will stay on top of Bo3. Bo3 unable to get the deny off on time with the miscoil. Tiger and Quoker are forced apart from the rest of them. Mickey and Insania, they're separated. They're sort of split up here, Liquid. And now with the duel, they're in a lot of trouble. The snowball save does come into play and rolls them across, but both of them, Tiger and Mickey, end up going down. Quoker and Insania have to be careful as Soul Assumption will at least claim the life of the Rubik, but they lose 4 heroes there.
Yeah, this is such a bad situation for Liquid.
That whole move, the smoke, you know, they wanted to make something happen, but they forced it too heavy-handedly, just going blindly up towards the shrine. FlyToMoon were more than prepared.
The fact that this Ember has had a good lane and also that he rotated really well is what allows FlyToMoon to make these actions happen and these skills happen. At the same time, I said that Abaddon can do quite a lot even with little farm, but he needs more in this kind of a game. He needs to be that frontliner that allows Koikwa and Leshrak to just stay behind and dish out all the damage. So far, Abaddon hasn't had that chance though. He's been shut down heavily on the lanes, but mostly because he was forced to rotate from one lane to another, and then you find yourself 10 minutes in with 2k net worth. It's not the best position.
They're trying for Iceberg. He has got a sleight of fist, but he's not going to get the chance to get it off. They get a big kill onto not just the Ember, but also Slayer. As Liquid are able to strike back hard, moving back over onto the half of the map of FlyToMoon.
Good play by both of them.
Yeah, the CM instead is sort of baiting them in, and it's successful.
Yeah, Taiga rolls in there, snowballs, walrus punches, and then you have the follow-up by Visage with the Soul Assumption, with the bird stunning. Perfect lockdown on the Ember Spirit. I believe Ember Spirit and perhaps Legion will get a BKB eventually in this match. It's really strong versus these heroes of Liquid. But still, they need the Crimson Guard. They need the Shivas, they need the pipe on the side of FlyToMoon. That should be like their priority when it comes to utility items. Legion commanders should be eyeing those items, definitely.
Yeah, he's got it, as you said, queued up the pipe. As he did last game, going for that first.
Yeah, I don't think it's as important as in that last game to get an earlier Blink Dagger, perhaps not even getting it this game, just beef up everyone. Because eventually you will win this game as time passes. If this PL gets a lot of items, if Ember gets there as well, you will win it just by default, I believe. Specifically because Abaddon had such a rough start. If Abaddon was good, if Bo3 had a good start with like Vlad's and I don't know, something else, Solar Crest by now, Medallion at least, it would be a different kind of a story, but he struggled too much. Taiga queuing up 2 bracers. Yeah, it's a bracer patch pretty much.
Just trying to make sure that they don't get burst in these fights. And as you say, the fact that they are ahead at the moment, FlyToMoon, does bode well for their draft.
Yeah, I mean, they're only 1k ahead, but then again, when you look at the lineups and how much they will do with the gold that's coming their way in the future, obviously FlyToMoon have a little bit of an edge there. Always want to fly. He's like... He just loves doing this, right? He loves to die.
Just making some space.
He should just be renamed to Always Want to Die.
Yeah, they got him.
And the Tombstone as well.
That's
he likes
a fair
to
bit
keep
of
things
gold.
balanced. He likes the balance, you know?
But at the same time, look who they found up top. That's quite fun. If they got the kill, they'll get the restart.
Nope.
Oh, they haven't found him. He's going to live. Oh, no, he's not. Slayer's there with the wraparound, Fade Bolt, and a sleight of fist. In fact, they don't just get the 1, they get the 2. See if they can chase Bo3. Bo3 pops the borrowed time. Iceberg is going to look to stay on top of them. Another slight change. Yeah, he's going to have the backup of Mickey. Stun controls there. Quick save from Flo. Gets him out of it. The chain stun from the birds causing some issues. Tiger will be in with the snowball. He's on top of Iceberg and actually gets the finishing kill. Now they turn back over towards Slayer. Stolen Aphotic Shield turns with a Fate Bomb, but he will fall as well. Liquid, as quickly as they lose their heroes themselves, will be able to strike back and get something in return.
Yeah, they should have been satisfied with the Visage kill and then you just move back. Instead, they die for the Abaddon. It's a hard kill. Even if you get him there, you will die in the process as you're diving the tier 2. Lashrak is rotating in as well. Both of these teams aren't really showing way too much discipline in this game. Also Visage, the way he moved back into the fight, even though at one point it looked like he might survive, Abaddon ported in, shielded him, healed him. Maybe Koipa could have went back, but then again, a good micro by him. Resummoning those birds, stunning the assault, stopping them, and then stunning Ember under that tier 2 with the birds too.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, Kellen just refarming on the bottom lane. He's having a nice time. And this is a hero, this is basically the win condition for FlyToMoon. They picked it instantly after the Visage pick, and that's because this hero just eats through Visage later on. Those illusions, they count when they are dealing damage versus Visage's armor stacks.
Liquid looking to find some action on the high ground here. Always want to fly. Is going to be the man caught on the front lines. There's no saving him. That is the smoke and Liquid's intentions revealed, and will mean that FlyToMoon don't lose anything else to that play.
However, it opens up rush attempt for Liquid, and they do have a team that does rush really well. You have the Medallion on Visage, you have the birds, you have the summon from Dominator.
This is very quick.
The passive from Abaddon, obviously, as well. Iceberg, he won't even have a chance to go and check what's up. They will already take it.
He's got to do it quickly.
See?
He might get a shot here.
All right.
He knows the status. Insane with the ult on the sidelines. He's keeping them out of the pit. Roshan is down, and Liquid, they get the kill, they get the Aegis on Mickey. Now they can look to try and fight. Iceberg still poking at them, despite the fact that Liquid do have that Aegis in their hands. Mickey's falling low. Remnant out from Iceberg, keeps him safe. They'll be able to take the Aegis out of the hands of Mickey. He's dead for once. Insane is picked off, and they can now look to try and chase and pick off even more. Iceberg's onto Tiger. He'll turn with a Warrior's Punch, has a snowball to buy some time. Inside the pit, Liquid will be able to turn and kill off both Always Want to Fly and Flow. Tiger falls, Iceberg with the double. But Liquid, they've got that control. Telekinesis will stop the combo from Mickey, allowing Iceberg to jump to the shrine.
But look at the PL. PL is completely left alone on the bottom lane. They are fighting outside of their base. They're fighting like somewhere that's not even close to the objectives, and that's so important for FlyToMoon, just to keep them away from Raxes, keep them away from tier 2s as long as possible so that this PL can come online. That's the strategy, that's why they're fighting there. You don't allow them the opportunity to reset, get everything that they need, and then go. Because while they were taking Rosh, they used a bunch of spells, they wasted a lot of mana. That's a perfect attempt, perfect opportunity for FlyToMoon to strike, get 1 or 2 kills, perhaps lose 2 in the process, but in the end, in the general scheme of teams, Phantom Lancer is farming, and that's all that's necessary.
Yeah, there is no doubt that FlyToMoon as a whole, well, you can imagine in that as a team, they're probably keeping it quite cool at the moment. I think Liquid, they're probably starting to feel a little flustered, but they're like, well, we're not really hitting the timings that we need to with this lineup. We got the Rosh, we got the Aegis, but we're unable to do anything with it. It is a worry. They could have got to be careful. They cannot allow any further slip-ups, and they really can't afford to give this PL any more space. Kellen and Iceberg, both of these cores are in prime position to scale perfectly as this game goes on.
I was completely down with the panel, like when they said that Liquid are the team that need to finish this game in 25 minutes. Then again, I saw Bo3 and I saw this Abaddon, and I'm thinking, all right, if he gets a lot, if he gets like Vlad's Midas Radiance or just Vlad's Radiance and then Crimson, they will have so much sustain and so much damage for those illusions with, let's say, a Shiva's on Lash that he won't deal as much damage and he won't really be a problem late on. However, Bo3 just didn't have a good game, and now he's going for Vanguard into straight Crimson after Vlad's, which is great. It will bring them a lot of utility, but it will stop him from just getting any extra items afterwards. It just doesn't help you farm as much. So it's all about the 25-minute mark. From 25 to 30, this game is going to break in one side or the other.
Right, we go diving under the tower. They've got their eyes on Slayer. Slayer will be healed up and saved by Flo, and Insania dropping down the ult. It's doing a lot of damage here onto Slayer, but no, Slayer, in fact, he gets the stolen one, and that does a lot onto Insania. Insania, he's going to be the one to die. They lose supports on both sides, but with Kellen in the fight, this PL's ready to force them back with the illusions, burning the mana, keeping his distance from Mickey. They'll be able to duck out, duck back in with the duel, take out the Leshrac, and now they can start to chase on for more. The PL is an issue. Liquid's got to get away from him. They're trying their best to roam. Quaifa getting his mana burn. Another heal fired out from Bo3. Mickey buying back to try and help turn this fight around. He'll boost the travel into the creep wave. Does land the stun on Always Wanna Fly, getting the Undying. Tiger still playing around with Flo on the back lines. Flo will step away with the heal, but they get the big kill. They get Kellen there. Mickey with a clutch buyback coming in with the bots will make sure that Liquid can stay on top for now.
They might force some buybacks as well because they are pressuring the high ground right now. Flo isn't there yet. He was forced to run around the mid lane. Rubik perhaps can deal some damage and prevent them from dealing damage with the Fate Bolt, but it's not enough. They might just lose at least the tier 3 here. Let's see, PL is 20 seconds away. The Fate Bolt. I underestimated it. I called it earlier that Fate Bolt is just amazing versus Visage, but that was just stupid. Like, they dealt no damage. 50%, even though they had so much time to work with.
And it is, that little bit of a risky time. Sure, it was a great buyback and some big kills from Mickey, but it was a buyback on one of your major cores.
Yep.
They've got to be careful with the Lesh's life now. If FlyToMoon are able to get out and take him down, which they're getting more and more tools to help do so, where they have that BKB finished on Iceberg, so he can now commit to the fight. And as you said earlier, not really feel too worried. Sure, there's a little bit of physical, but in terms of control through the BKB, he should be free to dance all over the team fight.
Yeah, you just can't stop that Ember anymore. As long as he's careful with how he uses that BKB, and you don't really have to be too careful, as it's a 10-second one. He just bought it, so it will be very easy for him to take this next team fight. And very difficult for Leshrac on the other side to position himself, because usually you want to be very aggressive at Lesh, you want to be in the fray of things.
I mean, Poxy here, and they'll force out the borrowed time. Iceberg, understandably feeling confident with the BKB and that bottled double damage rune.
Yep. Still though, PL says, I just want to finish my Manta.
Yeah,
you guys can play with them, do whatever you want. And that's really the best way to play PL in this game. It's not a game in which you will be countered too hard later on. So as long as you make yourself into a super carry, you should be good.
Always Want to Fly. Well, instantly getting punched up there by Tiger. There's a deep roll though with that snowball as Tiger was trying to eye out more and go for Slayer. Now they'll turn things around, Jules out, they'll lock down the Tusk, get that extra bit of bonus damage for Flo, and looking to even find more. They're on top of Mickey. Mickey's in trouble, he's got to be careful. Iceberg jumping around, will jump out, borrow time is popped. Slayer will be focused. They'll back off for now as they're down to Rubik. Snowball in from Tiger, trying to close the gap. Another change from Iceberg, locks them down. Photic shield on Mickey will allow him to try and chase for more, but Kellen is in the neighborhood, starts to throw out the illusions, burn the mana of Mickey, forcing Liquid to think twice about continuing this chase.
It's very difficult for them to fight into the PL. He wasn't in that fight initially, obviously. It's only when Iceberg ran back into the forest that they countered the PL.
And that really is the big thing. We're sort of seeing, these fights, they feel like they go okay for Liquid. Liquid are, they're trading. But as you say, the problem is that Liquid's on the timer. It's also the problem that these fights, so Liquid for the last 5 or so minutes, they're playing as a 5-man. Whereas FlyToMoon, they're playing as a 3-man or a 4-man. Always Kellen is somewhere else finding
Killing and dying, right? That's the bottom line. They're managing to kill Always Wanna Fly, but he always wants to die. He's up front for a reason, because if you force a couple of spells on yourself as an Undying and you still drop the Tombstone and a couple of decays, you're good. It's all about the Tombstone. Tombstone also, I haven't talked enough about it, because in this game it's super important. They do have some ways of dealing with it, like Visage's birds, but if a couple of zombies spawn...
Oh, this is 4 heroes rotating on an illusion.
Yeah, not good.
I think pretty much the full 5 were heading up there, pinging out. They really believe that to be the real deal, but Kellen, he stumped him.
You can see the lines drawn by Liquid. They really want to take down the bottom tier 2 and the mid one, as it will free up the dire jungle. And that should be their place to play the game from now on, and just wait patiently until that Roshan spawns. After that, perhaps you can take a fight, but it's a difficult situation to be in. Like, you can't do anything else, but you should probably be pressuring this PL somehow and killing him. However, Kellen, it's very simple for him to scout out with illusions and stay back. It's not like Liquid has enough cash for him. Yeah. So we see a trade at the moment. Flow and Ember take down the Radiant tier 2 a little bit quicker, as they were there just earlier. But they will lose their own tier 2 on the top lane in exchange.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Right.
See.
3,000 gold.
What do you think he's thinking of next?
I'm not certain. Some armor, some Shivas would be decent versus the Visage as well, versus the birds.
Now, Roshan will also be back up pretty shortly.
Actually, I like this from Koikwa. You don't really see a lot of Aghanims picked up by Visage at the moment. You just see some utility, Vlad, Solar Crest, something like that. But having more birds versus the PL is pretty good, as you need that extra time, that extra lockdown to stun all the illusions. They can actually just disappear in the consecutive, let's say, 3 stuns plus 1 Leshrac stun, and that's about it. Crimson Guard also from the box. He completed for a few minutes now. Will come in handy versus all the illusions that FlyToMoon have got.
Yeah, I think for the most part, though, still that losing your mana to these illusions is such a nightmare for some of the backliners on Liquid. As without sort of having any BKBs on the cores, their mana is just going to be constantly burnt by the army of Kellen.
Yeah, you can see that Iceberg picked up that plate mail. He's going into the Shivas.
Yeah, he's pretty much got it.
Yeah, it prevents him from dying to that extra physical damage after the BKB is used. Also, just slows down Visage and everyone else on the side of Liquid. Gives you some info, some vision too. It's a pretty good pickup for him. BKB, next item of choice, it seems, for Lash.
Iceberg is going to just have a bit of a tickle with him there in the mid lane. Doesn't want to commit for more. Knowing that he's out alone and still with a lot of unspent gold. No need to fight yet. We'll start to try and push the way, but Liquid are still there hunting him down. They'll go for the Yule setup, but a quick Remnant will get him away before the combo lands from Mickey.
Yeah, you can see that both of these teams are satisfied with just waiting a little bit and farming. The game has completely slowed down. We haven't seen a kill in the last, what, 3 minutes?
I think, like, because with the rest of this game, that's still only going to favor this lineup powered by this Ember PL duo core.
Yeah, we'll see a fight very soon, though. Liquid, I don't believe that they think that they can wait any longer. Roshan has respawned, and this is go time, as Mickey just said.
I'll see who gets the grab on who. Always want to fly.
Oh,
this time, we'll be able to get himself away. Slides out with the help of the 4-star from Mickey. Will be held back by Slayer. Liquid are still trying to get their hands on something here. A FlyToMoon can keep everyone at distance, and Liquid won't get anything. They'll some sentries down, try and get control of this area around the Roche.
It would be really good for them to go into the pit and take down that Roshan before the heart is completed on PL. It becomes so much harder to fight him once that heart is completed. And he just needs the ring now, I believe.
Here we go. Roshan, as before, will fall very quickly to the lineup of Liquid. The question is if a FlyToMoon can get in time.
Iceberg is there, but
with the BKB and a Remnant, he can certainly look to make an aggressive play. They're going to start things off on the side. Go with the telekinesis, separating Boxy from the team, but Tiger dives in. Mickey pots the BKB, committing heavily here towards the Slayer. Squishy Rubik on the back. He's dead. They've found one. Tombstone's taken out. Iceberg's own BKB being used, but he has to be careful. Hard to get the damage in against this Crimson Guard. Tiger, left alone on the high ground, will be locked down by the Jewel of Flow. The rest of Liquid have got to be a little careful now with their own BKBs wearing off and mana getting low. They will be pushed away from the pit for now.
Yeah, once again they thwart the Liquid's attempt into taking that rush easily. It looked like they might just get it, but Iceberg was around and he stops them. I also have to commend Liquid. that they approach these teamfights properly. They take down Rubik first, and that's such a significant target to take down. First, you can't let him spam out Fade Bolts. Second, he has a lot of save for his teammates. And third, he steals Insania's ulti every single time. It's so simple to steal, but it looks like FlyToMoon, they won't be as careful as before, and one simple smoke from Liquid allows them to finish off Rosh. That's Aegis and Cheese now, I believe.
It is indeed. There's Mickey. He's going to be the one to take the both of those for now. See if he holds on to them or if he feels anyone else needs the piece. I mean, I guess it really is best to have them both on the Lesh at this point. I mean, all three cores of Liquid trailing behind the two of FlyToMoon. We're continuing to see these huge later game items come out for the cores of FlyToMoon. PL has a heart. Kellen is going to be very hard to kill. With that Mantra and heart, he's going to be jumping across the fight. And unless they're able to put all their attention onto the PL, which is unlikely considering the backup he's going to have from the rest of his team, I don't know if they can kill this Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, it will be very difficult. You need to burst him down, but for that to happen, you need to keep him chain locked, right? But you can't because of the Legion Commander. He's always going to be around. That's why we see these offlaners constantly picked. On one side, Abaddon is first phase, on the other, it's Legion Commander. You just need the save. If you don't have it as a support, if you don't have a Shadow Demon or an Oracle or something similar, you need to have that option available for you from the offlaner. And that's where Flow comes in. He has pressed the attack, and with that, he will be able to save PL from like the chain stun of the birds and the lash and whatnot.
Liquid will start to try and get something done with this Aegis and Cheese. Mickey not quite with the team at the moment, but of course having the bots available to join them. Looks like he's going to head back to base, fill up on the mana before he joins for the push down mid. Now look at this tier 2. We'll see how much FlyToMoon put into holding this. They won't. They'll let this one go.
Yeah, they take it down so fast. At the same time, if you clicked on Abaddon, you would see that he's queuing up for that Radiance after all. And he's not too far away from it, 2k gold.
It's going to be a late Radiance.
It's going to be a late Radiance, but it's still a very valuable item considering you're versus a PL with all these illusions.
I see it is that little bit of a mischance. In terms of the damage, it feels very,
a lot, yeah.
not great, considering this PL is so tanky. But it will be something, of course, as you say, will still be a bit of time before Bo3 is able to even finish that. There's Mickey. We'll try, but Iceberg every time will have no difficulty dodging that and getting himself safely out. In fact, Liquid were trying to prepare for this by the looks of it, staying nearby to his Remnant positioning. Tiger tries for the grab, but Iceberg, another jump away, will keep him safe.
Yeah, they're definitely lacking catch on the side of Liquid. They do have a Blink Dagger on Taiga, but he was just not in the right position, and Ember is able to Remnant away before the Walrus Punch connects.
Iceberg coming out again on the top lane. We'll see if Liquid can have maybe another shot of finding him. He's only got one Remnant to play with, but does have the BKB and a TP available. They do get the chain stun there this time without him getting a single spell off, and Iceberg, they've got him.
Yeah, that's such a great play by Taiga as well, using that snowball onto the creep to just catch him before that Yules lands, before he can Remnant or Sleight of Fist.
Yeah, I was going to say, but that looks like, is that sort of like one of those spells like the arrow that if it's underneath you when you come out of yours, you do not get the chance to use anything?
Exactly, he couldn't get out of that.
Very nicely done then by Tiger.
One of the first players that I saw doing that was Lil back in the Virtus Pro days. And then I believe it was Tusk that was played by Wings all the time.
There's the push. And to have this 50 seconds without Iceberg. Of course, the strength of Liquid's lineup is this full 5-man sieging. It's still 34 minutes, maybe a little later than they hoped for. But they're starting to get some damage done. Illusions will begin to be sent out by Kellen to try and push them away. They want to try and protect this buyback from Iceberg. The tier 3 is down. They are onto the barracks. It looks like it will have to be a decision if they want to let this go or expend the buyback. A little bit of a grab onto Mickey, but he has the Aegis, of course. So if they can kill him the once, he's still alive. Tiger's going to start to force back the rest of them. There's the Aegis gone. But the melee racks have fallen. Liquid get the objective. And maybe able to get some kills out of this as well. As Always Want to Fly is chain stunned up. Bo3's borrowed time is forced out. Always Want to Fly will buy back. And with Iceberg now respawning, they can look to try and maybe punish Liquid for this push on the high ground. Spirit Lance is out, Iceberg has TP'd across towards the shrine. He's looking for the cutoff. We'll be able to get him with the chains onto 2. Focusing down Insania first. The CM will fall. Mickey pops the BKB. He's trying to get out of there, but Quaitha locked down by the duel. They've lost the Visage. Mickey will be able to survive because of that, getting into the trees with the BKB and the TP out. He'll make it away. So Liquid, they do finally manage to break the base of FlyToMoon a little bit.
They broke the base, but that's not the perfect scenario at all for them. They didn't force a buyback, they didn't kill any of the big cores. Visage also dies during that engagement. And usually one side is just not enough. It's all about these next couple of fights right now for FlyToMoon, because from this moment onwards, they're completely ready to fight. In that last scenario, they weren't, just because Ember was dead. They didn't lose way too much because of that, though. Only one side, only 1 melee Raxes. And when you're playing versus a pushing lineup, being 2 sides down is very difficult, but one side isn't really as huge of a deal.
Mickey, he did manage to build up a lot of gold off the back of that play. Does need to spend it, holding on to 5k at the moment. Securing up the Shiva's guard to make sure he himself has something else to offer against Kellen's Illusion's armies.
Definitely will. That item will be very helpful for the Lash. They will need to deal with Kellen in these next couple of fights because Ember will be there and PL will follow him wherever he goes. That Mjolnir also almost completed.
Both for the cause of FlyToMoon continuing to build up these massive items.
We see the butterfly completed on the PL, but he's still level 22. I believe he still hasn't reached his full potential, because once he gets that level 25, he'll be able to just send these illusions constantly at you and you won't be able to deal with them. Even with the Shivas, even with all later than he hoped for, but he's getting there. And they will have AC on the Visage too, so they're hitting their items, but they need to continue this pressure. They need to continue playing on the enemy side of the map and perhaps get the pick off into a push again.
The lanes getting pushed heavily into Liquid. At this point, with the illusions being as strong as they are from Kellen, he could always pretty much keep one lane shoved right up to the base, making it a lot harder for Liquid to continue to get away with these 5-man plays. They always have to have a man getting ready to be sent back and dealing with the split.
Yeah, luckily for them, they have the Leshrac with the travels and the port, and ever since that's changed, it's much easier to defend versus split pushing, right? So you can't really rely only on that. You can't alliance your way to TI. You just send the Lash, he TPs there, then travels back into the fight if it happens, and all's good.
See FlyToMoon starting to get a little aggressive themselves. For the most part, they have played for sort of the split up and farm game, making sure that their cores do stay ahead. And now here is a 5-man inside Liquid's jungle. Liquid themselves also continuing to stay together as a team.
Strategically, Liquid have an advantage here because their top lane is constantly pushing in, obviously, and also if you are doing this play, it always happens, but Radiant usually has an advantage because they're invading the Dire jungle, it's closer to Rosh Pit, it's easier to ward around there, and eventually FlyToMoon has to come to them, and it's completely unnecessary for Liquid to move into their own jungle. They don't have to do that. They just can stay around here and wait for the Rosh to respawn and just slowly push in top and mid. Also, what's a really good play here is to just creep skip, cut the waves mid, cut the waves top, so that they cannot get them, so that the lanes never push out for FlyToMoon. Oh, there you go. That's the smoke, and now it's on FlyToMoon to move back into their jungle and take it back. It's a play that they have to do. Or you catch Mickey here.
And Mickey fortunate to step back
Radiant's
there.
bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, Bo3 isn't really the best target, but maybe Taiga is.
See if they can grab him. Bo3 will offer up a bit of a save. There'll be the snowball coming out into play. Taiga trying to get himself away from the PL. Kellen is backing off for now. Knows that there's the full team off Liquid here and doesn't want to poke too hard. They'll back off, not wanting to take a fight on Liquid's high ground around that shrine. Smart moves there from FlyToMoon to retreat.
Yeah, definitely not the best position to fight in. And there's Abaddon, there's Tusk, they're both very tanky. They can save each other with the snowball or the aphotic shield, so you would just waste way too much of your time. Also, using that tombstone on the enemy high ground isn't really the best option. You would much rather fight around your high ground somewhere, maybe here around your stairs, and use that tombstone over there so that it cannot fall as easily as it does when you just throw it inside of the enemy team.
We go going for the smoke now themselves. Mickey leading in onto Slayer and Kellen mid. They'll focus down the Ruby, get the easy kill now, turn their attention towards the PL. They've got the first stun. They'll try for further. Kellen, he's being focused. Can they save him? They cannot. Kellen is dead. Liquid, they've got the big kill and they're ready to try and go for more. Surrounding Flo, the stun control's there from Mickey. Flo falls and Taiga blinks forward. He's got the lockdown on Always Want to Fly as there is a third dead. FlyToMoon getting destroyed this time round by Liquid, finding a beautiful opportunity to strike.
It's just Liquid bouncing on time. FlyToMoon, they hit their peaks, but it's like they're just waiting for Liquid to make their move first. And once you wait a little bit too much, Liquid find a perfect opportunity. They bounce on the Rubik and on the PL. They re-summon the birds. Koipa did that very well. He stunned him like 5 times in a row. And Legion Commander failed to save him from that situation. He didn't use the heal on time because one of the birds stunned him instantly after and he couldn't doppelgang away.
Liquid trying to siege. Kellen has brought back as well as Slayer in an attempt to hold. Will work for now with the fortification. They'll push Liquid back, but Liquid now maintaining the lead in terms of net worth with those buybacks in play. Step back ahead. Getting a bit better of a control. Roshan is up as well at a key time. Still 2 members down on FlyToMoon as Liquid will be able to step in and take this down very quickly. FlyToMoon are heading over. I don't think they're going to be able to get a look in this time as a third Roche will go the way of Liquid. Aegis Cheese, and what do we have there? Was it the Refresher or the Ags?
It's Ags.
It's Ags.
Slash got it as well.
Okay, so buffing up Mickey even more, giving him more potency as the Leshrac. Oh, okay, no, sorry, they gave it to Bo3.
I mean, it's such a good item for Lash or Bo3
yes,
here.
Bo3, well, he's just going to keep everybody alive now.
Yeah, and also, overall, Aghanim is much better than Refresher for this team. Like, Refresher, all right, you could refresh some Shivas, some BKB perhaps, but that's it. Or maybe give it to Visage so you have 9 stuns. But Aghanim is just way better for Liquid, so they locked out just a little bit there. Flo, however, is on a hunt here. He's invis, but...
Yeah, on his own, can't really go for Mickey at all. Mickey just far too stacked at the moment.
How is PL 22 for the last
I was going to say, he's not getting XP.
He's not getting any experience at all. He's been the same level for ages now.
And after having such a good game in the way that Kellen's been able to find space to farm and level up, it's just sort of ground to a halt. And now Liquid, they're taking over again.
It's like you found a lot of farm, but you aren't finding any ways of using it. Like, and it's not like Liquid had all that they needed to fight. They just fought better. They found the opportunities to fight and they used them. On the same time, FlyToMoon, they were just very passive with what they had.
They're just playing, well, looks of it now for those next timings, getting the BKB done on Kellen to make sure that he's not at risk of being just continuously locked down by the large amount of stun control that Liquid do have.
How late can you go? That's the question right now. That's what FlyToMoon wants. They want to go as late as possible because this is pretty much where they needed to get to, and it failed. They didn't manage to utilize their power spikes, and they lost a couple of fights. They lost Aegis one side, and can they really crawl out of this? I'm not so certain. I'm not certain this PL will be able to make as much of an impact as he could have done just like 5 minutes ago. Oh, someone's hexed.
We do. Always Want to Fly. No saving for him. That's the gem down as well here. Liquid finding a tasty way to start off the high ground siege. Buyback comes out from Always Want to Fly. See if they can slow this one down. FlyToMoon. Start the spam onto Liquid, but they've got the buffs up with the pipe. Stun onto Iceberg, will be saved. Stolen Photic Shield for Slayer, keeping his Ember alive. They'll turn with the root onto Quaifa. They have the duel out, do they have the damage? They're focusing him down, but the save comes in with the Snowball. He's still alive for now as Liquid. They can turn. Flow's been taken out. Kellen's trying to get stuck in on the front with the BKB, but with the BKB wearing off, he has to back away as Liquid don't lose anyone.
Man, Bo3 was healing them so much there, and Taiga as well. Just snowballing everyone in, saving them. That was perfect. I believe that was a good attempt by FlyToMoon because they had the zombies on them, they had the tombstone. They just rushed into the Visage and the Lash, so it was very difficult for Liquid to survive that, but they managed to do it with amazing snowball from Taiga and also just Abaddon being Abaddon, sitting there in front doing nothing with that Radiance, just annoying everyone and disabling FlyToMoon from killing anyone on the side of Liquid.
Taiga. He's going to show himself here. Shards to be used to try and hunt down always one of Flighters. Have to be a little careful. Did buy back. They will need everything they can get for the high ground defense. Now that Liquid have taken these last few fights and gotten themselves significantly ahead now. 17k advantage. All three of their cores have got back ahead of the game. Now the turn is in trouble, will be forced back. Another stun comes in with the Glimmer Cape. Iceberg, he'll be safe for now. The Rex, they've already been taken though. Liquid with the pushing power, they've found the Rex. Maybe they could get some kills. Yule's up onto Iceberg. Sleight of Fist, inability to dodge the stuns, but the further stuns come down from the bird. He's dead and gone. He's got to buy back. The focus now onto Slayer. Slayer's dead. The Revenant's coming into play. Can they actually get any of these kills though, FlyToMoon? They're struggling to find anyone. They'll get Mickey the once, but always want to fly's dead. So is Slayer. Both supports gone without buyback as Flo, Kellen, and Iceberg are forced back to the fountain. Liquid, after just only losing the Aegis, they've got everyone still good to go.
I think he has cheese as well on the Lash still, right? Yeah, he has cheese. They're super capable of taking these last Raxes as well, and maybe even the game after. They don't have to go back at all. Kellen, like, he has a lot of farm, but he's unable to use it because you're disabled. If you're just stunned, if you're just in one spot, or if you're slowed with Shivas, with Radiance, with everything, then all your farm is for nothing, even with that BKB.
And they've pretty much got the Megas. There's a Rax up top. They've got to send someone up there to get the creeps off it. And even if they do, Liquid, with the strength they've now got, they can walk up and claim this.
Does he have AoE Mist Coil on Bo3? He does, right? Pretty good. AoE Mist Coil plus Diagonals, like you can't.
I mean, it's the amount of heals fight out, and it's. I mean, it just feels like this game, as you said, we saw the PL and Ember be in such a comfortable position, but if the PL in particular, you just have not felt his farm.
I think they felt a bit too comfortable. They were like, all right, we got this no matter what, but eventually, Team Liquid, they have what it takes to take down PL.
And he's still only level 23.
Yeah.
He's just not leveling.
I don't know.
He's not getting any space to find the XP.
Why don't you just give him tones at least? He'd be able to send out those illusions constantly to prevent these pushes, but I think it's a bit too late right now as you don't have any Rexes left.
It's a very hard game for them to hold themselves in. Now FlyToMoon, after what seemingly was a large portion where they could have abused their advantage, Liquid, they didn't get away with the quick win that their draft sort of indicated they wanted to go for, but they were able to adapt and actually end up making it so that this 48-minute period that they are the ones with such a lead that it doesn't really matter about the heroes. Both the PL and Ember, they're falling off. Yep. As Mickey has just taken over the whole of the game thanks to the way that the team around him can keep him alive and enable him to just run in as this Lesh and do so much damage.
Heroes and the draft is obviously very important. At the same time, if you know what game plan you need to have, if you know what itemization you need on every single hero, and if you hit that properly, and if you hit your timings, then like it's fine. Like you can win versus a PL as Visage. And obviously, I believe one very important aspect of this game was Liquid making the first strike every single time. They were the ones that jump on top of FlyToMoon, they were the ones to fight. It was never Ember Spirits jumping in, creating some space for PL, messing with them, making them force a couple of spells while the zombies spawn. No, it was always like this. Always one of Fly dies first, Rubik perhaps dies just at the same time, and then FlyToMoon is forced to retreat. And it happens a couple of times. You take a couple of Firaxes with that, and the game is yours. Your Abaddon that had like the Crystal Maiden amount of farm when the game started suddenly has Radiance, Crimson, Vlads, and Aghanims from Roche. So definitely very well played game by Liquid. They came back super hard after that first loss, and 50 minutes in, it looks like their game.
Yeah, Mickey just casually walking around with 9k gold. I mean, he's running out of slots, really.
Yep, they still need to close out the game, but it shouldn't be way too difficult considering what heroes they've got.
Now they're getting all the bounties, all the active runes as well, DD and an Arcane. Certainly things that they do have cores that we're happy to work with. FlyToMoon is desperately holding on against the Megas, but the outlook for this game now looking incredibly grim for them.
Yeah, they're also just waiting for the next Roshan to take it. After that, perhaps a new Aghanims to someone. Double damage is there too. There we go.
I know,
Roshan
yeah.
is respawned.
I mean, why not?
You can give that axe to Crystal Maiden as well. She's going to do so much work versus the PL. The only danger is the Rubik, but they always take him out so quickly at the beginning of the fights that his own freezing field doesn't really come into play. It's not nearly as effective as Insania's. Go, who got the axe? It is Insania. Yeah. There's a cheese in the pit. They do scout it out. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they have everything they could hope for, especially on the 3 cores now. The catch-up has been successful as Liquid giving us a very, very strong showing in the way they've turned this game around. It really did look like this PL was going to be the be-all, end-all, but Kellen has just been unable to do anything, even without the sort of copious amounts of farm that he was getting for the majority of this game. It's just had no impact in the outcome of the overall match. That's Liquid. Up to the high ground they go once more, ready to try and offer the finishing blow to this game too. Iceberg, BKB's pop, Liquid will kite it out for now.
Yeah, BK has that Aegis to work with, also has a refresher shard, I believe, in the backpack, so they're just putting him up front. It would be so much easier if BL was level 25, but sadly for them, he's not.
He must be close now. Boxy. I'm going to try and go on the Abaddon. They've got to jump away from that Tiger in onto the high ground. Looks for the uppercut onto Slayer. Slayer getting himself back and out of it all. Hector down to always want to fly. The chain stones from the Familiars causing issues for Kellen. The save will be there from Flow. BKB's out from Kellen and now start to turn, but they're doing no damage at all. Kellen just cannot hit. They have so much sustain, so many heals, so many saves. And Kellen, he's dead. He jumps in, goes to his death, will buy back. He's in, but there's no always want to fly. The tier 4s are falling. Liquid now onto the Ancient as FlyToMoon. They cannot do anything to slow down this push. A 40,000 gold lead from Liquid. They'll focus the Ancient. They'll look over to pick up some extra kills, but there we have it. GG is called, and Liquid will be able to bring this series to a draw so far, 1-1. They get the game 2 win. Not an easy win for them, definitely a difficult one.
Definitely not easy. They also showed their mindset, like they really want to win this series. They don't want to be knocked out so easily. Even after that PL pick and after everything is said and done, they itemize properly. They have a good plan how to execute this particular game and they take it. Especially after the first game loss.
Yeah.
Like that